Funny how life works. Really, funny how life works. And it's not a point of a ha ha, but it's funny. It's like it leaves you kind of like shaking your head, like funny how it works. When I thought I had it down pat and I thought I understood certain things, it's funny how it works because it does. There is such a level of ineffectiveness that goes on in life that has a strong effect in the area of being successful in what it does, especially when it's done right out wicked. You know, you can get in contact with somebody that you've never really seen or ever really knew, or you form a friendship with them, and you slowly start to see, and it's really relative. Einstein said that. He said it's all relative. But it's interesting to see how the apparent coincidental things begin to happen after you've met that person. You know, for instance, I mean, I had a lot of money in my bank account, and I met this one person, and I slowly began to see my money started to drain out of my life. Lo and behold, the person had a cause that I started to buy into. And that was the only where it started bleeding money. Then I was strongly convinced emotionally to go and relocate. Well, the relocation, and the thing is, if you're paying attention enough, you see that I've always had a kind of a hippie mentality that leave things alone, whatever it is, and blah blah blah, and it's all nice and groovy and peaceful. Well, it's not. You see, the wisdom that comes from above always brings peace. It says, first peaceable, gentle, willing to yield. And as you go through your life, if you're a person that's willing to yield, I'm not talking about willing to yield to just any old blower and Joe or whoever comes along, but you're willing to simply say, I am wrong. Okay. That puts you above average. Okay. And it doesn't always work that way. The funny how life works, that every one of us wants to find out more than anything else what really works. Because if it's tried and true, that's where I want to go, because I want to avoid as much headaches and heartaches as much as I can. It's that simple, right? I know if I get a job, I know if I'm actually at that job and I stay at that job, I know that I'm going to have money, and money will actually put me in a better position. But the thing is, how funny life works is that position, I'm talking about the financial position, could position you to become a prey for predators. In opposite to a man or a woman who doesn't have a whole lot of money, who would not find those same predators coming knocking at their door, right? And it's funny how life works, because you are broadcasting, whether you believe it or not, you are broadcasting messages daily, hourly, every second of the day. You're literally a piece of energy broadcasting communication. Funny how life works is that you are going to bring into your environment movements of other people, because they're also in movement, and they're going to be listening to, even though you probably don't walk around with um, a a microscope or magnifying glass looking to inspect everybody and their intentions and what people are about, because it's really important. Funny how life works is you don't want life to be working against you. It's the very word life just means that. It's like having a heartbeat. A person has life. You want the heartbeat of the rhythm of what works to consistently be beaten and pumping the blood of goodness all around your life, right? And the thing is that when you are going about your life, and you are not going to be want to get too paranoid, or whatever the case may be, but you want to be aware that it's not a matter of, oh no, funny how life works, and leaves you kind of razzle dazzled and kind of like, huh. But you actually have a period at the end of your sentences that you now can figure things out. Funny how life works. For the most part, people are extremely predictable. Okay. The Bible says that every one of us human beings are like sheep. We're so given easily over, and we lead and we're controlled by other people, leading everybody around to their own way. And the Bible says the blind leads the blind, they fall into the ditch. The thing is about funny how life works is that life is very consistent. And I'm talking about all the goings on in your existence. It has a definitive result. It has, because the definition is inside at the beginning and in the middle of the content of what's going on, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a job you've got, whether it be a city you're living in. There's consistency that causes everybody to move in rhythm with it, even though they may not understand that. And no one's really an individual unto themselves unless you really grow, unless you come in. Some people call it come into the place of spiritual awakening, right? You separate, you get pulled out, you get this heavenly forces that begins to work on you and pull you out of the consistency of what we call funny how life works. The more above you become of a different species, like an eagle compared to hanging around a bunch of turkeys. And most of the time, eagles fly alone. And if they do fly with another eagle, they are flying with another eagle on a height where other birds can't go. But most of the time, their dance is way up there. And when the storms are coming, they're the ones that are flying into the storm where a lot of people are running for safety, right? And the fun thing is about funny how life works is that you come to a point in life, it's not able to catch you by surprise because you're not going to go through your life anymore given how can I put it? Given a rose-colored glasses that you're wearing, and you see everything through it, that it's that razzly dazzly, and it's that like wow, you know. But you get some real proper glasses, prescription glasses, or you have 10/10 sight, or you have really good hindsight, you have enough experiences that says, you know what, it is so clear. I can see so clear as day. I can see this person right now before me, and this person is going to do this. Is so predictable. Funny how life works. It's usually left. It's usually left when we are dropped into the pit of our own delusions, our own given the benefit of the doubt when all the time the doubt was already there and it didn't need any benefits. Benefits belong to what is good, not what is bad. So I don't know if I've made. I trust I've made some sense to go along the avenue. You know what? Don't take things at face value. Don't take things to the level that you believe it is so deep when really it's a shallow pond that looks deep because somebody has convinced you it's that deep when it's not, and it's shallow and it's awful and it's ugly and it has what was it called, parasites and all that stuff inside of it, and you go drink it and you go and you get sick, right? Life really does work, and for the majority of the times where it works the best for people is when people are very brave, when they start to lose a lot of their fears and they become very brave enough to completely abandon our relationship, brave enough to completely up and say that this ain't working for me. I don't know what's out there, but it's certainly not what I want here, right? And life, I mean, I'm still learning this, but life seems to reward the brave. The ones who are not going to accept being hurt by the funny how life works. I'm not left with a question mark at the end of my observations anymore. I'm left with a big, massive exclamation mark that says, you know what? No, it's not anymore funny how life works. This is how life works. And it is so predictable. And I realize that if I make certain choices, I will have certain results. If I choose to be with, the Bible even says that. The Bible says the companion of fools will bring you to ruin. It says that if you're desiring to be right and you're desiring to live uprightly and purely before God, the Bible says that you ought to, it's a must. Choose your friends carefully, for the wicked will lead you astray. Will, not might, will. And funny how life works a lot of the times, the magic, those sweet moments that you'll have along in life are not going to come out of bad situations. It's usually going to come from the sweetness of others who have embraced the beauty of life and they want to maintain that beauty. They don't want to be ugly. They don't want to carry things in their hearts that causes other people pain. And that is really where you want to be as you go along the avenue this thing we call life. You want to be so predictable that you're willing to go all the way out with a firm commitment that you're going to make choices as a case by case situation. As that situation comes up, you're going to give all of your attention to it, and you're going to say, "This is my choice on it. I accept it or I reject it." And that is how God works. God equips us with enough, and if we ask Him for more, He will give us wisdom, guidance. As we ask, He will show you. And one thing for sure, the choice is going to be yours. It really is, and that's what makes it life really become much more predictable, because it's a good thing when you are actually with people who are good. So you have a good day, and do like and subscribe. Thank you.